Okay, so we're all familiar with that iconic image of George Washington.
I know, yeah.
Resolute general leading his troops through thick and thin. But
Mhm.
today we're going to kind of peel back another layer and look at a side of his leadership that maybe doesn't get as much attention,
Yeah.
but was absolutely crucial during the American Revolution.
A hidden war, almost.
Yeah, exactly.
And what strikes me is how early on Washington really understood
Okay.
that just winning battles, the traditional way wasn't going to be enough to
Right.
secure independence.
Yeah, he's up against
Exactly.
a vastly superior force.
The British Army was a formidable opponent.
Yeah, in terms of everything.
Training resources, just sheer numbers.
Yeah.
It was clear that he had to find unconventional ways to
Right.
gain an edge, and that's where I think this world of espionage and sabotage really comes into play.
Yeah, and that's what we're diving into today.
Absolutely.
The secret operations that Washington orchestrated. This whole other side of the revolution that often gets overshadowed.
That does.
By the big battles and the heroic charges and all that.
Right.
Our mission, which you will today,
Mm-hmm.
is to uncover just how important these clandestine efforts were
Absolutely.
to the ultimate American victory.
Yeah, it really begs the question, doesn't it?
Yeah,
How different might things have turned out
totally.
without this hidden hand at work?
So let's start, I guess, with why this shadow war, as you called it,
Yeah.
was so essential.
Right from the get-go.
Yeah, right from the beginning.
As we said, the Continental Army was facing a huge uphill battle.
Yeah.
Outmatched in pretty much every way.
Yeah.
So being able to gather intelligence on the British
Right.
and disrupt their operations became an absolutely critical
Okay.
advantage.
So it wasn't just about knowing where the British troops were or
no.
what they were having for dinner.
It went far beyond that.
Okay.
It was about using that information to actually level the playing field.
Right.
Washington was really clever in how he adapted these sort of emerging European military ideas about intelligence to the very specific challenges of the American War.
So he's reading, he's paying attention to what's going on.
He was a student of military strategy.
Yeah.
And he realized that accurate information was a weapon.
Okay.
It could allow him to avoid disastrous confrontations,
Yeah.
anticipate British moves, and essentially outsmart
Yeah.
a much stronger enemy.
Which brings us, I think, to one of the most famous elements of all of this.
Absolutely.
The Culper spy ring.
The Culper
Formed in 1778.
That's right.
Right, operating right under the noses of the British command in New York City.
Right in the Lion's Den.
It's incredible.
It really is remarkable when you think about it. New York was the headquarters for the British military for much of the war. So that made it a prime target for intelligence gathering.
Okay.
But of course, incredibly dangerous.
Huge risks.
Huge risks, yeah.
Yeah, so what was the main objective of this Culper ring?
Well, their mission was to provide Washington with up-to-date and accurate details on British troop movements, any plans they were cooking up, even the layout of their fortifications.
Okay.
Anything that could give Washington an advantage.
It's like something out of a spy thriller or something.
It really is. A real-life spy thriller.
And they had these amazing individuals involved.
Oh, yeah. Fascinating cast of characters.
We've got Abraham Woodhull,
Uh-huh.
Samuel Culper Sr.,
alias Samuel Culper Sr.
This unassuming Long Island farmer.
Yeah, what's fascinating about Woodhull is how he managed to befriend British officers. He pretended to be a loyalist.
Right.
And that allowed him to gather intel directly from the source.
He's right there on the inside.
Yeah, he was on the inside. And willing to take tremendous risks.
And then you've got Anna Strong.
Yes, Anna Strong.
And her laundry line signals.
The laundry line?
It's brilliant.
Isn't it? Who would suspect the laundry line to be a crucial part of a spy ring?
Yeah, it's so ingenious.
But that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
She used different combinations of clothes and a black handkerchief to signal meeting locations to other members of the ring.
Yeah, it's just amazing how they use these everyday things.
They had to be creative.
Yeah, to stay hidden.
To stay one step ahead.
And then you have Robert Townsend.
Samuel Culper Jr.
Right, operating right in the heart of New York City as a merchant.
Yeah, Townsend's cover was perfect.
Yeah.
As a merchant, he could move around pretty freely,
right,
gather information from all sorts of sources. He might overhear conversations in taverns, strike up relationships with British suppliers.
Wow.
He was really in the thick of it.
And then there's the mysterious Agent 355.
Yeah, the enigmatic Agent 355.
Still unidentified.
A woman shrouded in mystery.
Yeah, we don't know for sure who she was.
We don't, but we know she was operating the highest levels of society.
Okay.
Likely someone with connections to British officials.
So someone with access that these other folks
exactly
just wouldn't have.
Unparalleled access to information.
Okay, so we've got this incredible network set up.
Mm-hmm.
These brave individuals risking their lives every day.
Every single day.
How are they actually getting this information back to Washington?
Okay, well, they couldn't just send a text message or...
Right, it's not like today.
No.
Yeah.
They had to be incredibly resourceful.
Okay.
One of their key tools was invisible ink.
Okay.
They'd write secret messages between the lines of seemingly ordinary letters.
Yeah.
And then a simple chemical reaction would reveal the hidden text.
Like they're developing a photograph.
Exactly.
Wow.
They also used dead drop.
Dead drop.
Prearranged secret locations.
Okay.
Where they could leave messages or pick up information.
Okay, so they don't have to actually meet face to face.
No, that would be far too risky.
Right, too dangerous.
Right.
And to make things even more secure, they used codes.
Codes and ciphers.
Yeah.
Complex systems to disguise the meaning of their messages.
So even if the message was intercepted,
exactly,
it would just look like gibberish.
Exactly. It would be impossible to decipher without the key.
I mean, the level of sophistication is really mind-boggling.
It's a testament to their ingenuity.
Yeah, and their dedication.
Absolutely.
But Washington's strategy wasn't just about intelligence gathering.
No, he was a proactive leader.
Okay.
He understood that he also needed to actively hinder the British.
Okay, so it was a two-pronged approach.
Absolutely.
Espionage and sabotage.
Exactly.
Working together.
Hand in glove.
So give us some examples of this sabotage in action.
Sure. Well, for example, American patriots disguised as merchants would sometimes harass British supply ships, causing delays.
Yeah.
Damaging cargo, disrupting their supply lines.
And slowing them down.
Exactly, slowing them down.
Okay.
And then there were the counterintelligence operations.
Okay.
Where they'd plant false information to mislead the British.
So kind of like a disinformation campaign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A classic example is that fake plan they leaked about an attack on New York City.
Right.
This caused the British to divert troops and resources.
Wow.
Based on completely fabricated intelligence.
So he's anticipating their moves.
He was always thinking steps ahead.
And manipulating them.
Exactly. Yeah. They also targeted loyalist homes and properties.
Okay.
Aiming to create fear and uncertainty and weaken British support within the colonies.
So these are all incredibly risky operations.
They were.
These people are putting their lives on the line.
Absolutely.
And we see Washington's fingerprints all over this.
Oh, yeah. He was deeply involved.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see it in his letters.
Yes.
He reviewed every intelligence report.
Wow.
Provided feedback to his agents.
Yeah.
Made sure they had the resources they needed.
And he understood the importance of secrecy.
Oh, absolutely.
Of plausible deniability.
Yeah. If any of this had been traced back to him,
right,
it would have been a disaster.
So you can't have his, signature on any of these items.
Exactly. Had to be completely deniable.
That example of the fake orders really shows.
It does.
Like you were saying, that he's thinking steps ahead.
Yeah, he's not just reacting.
Yeah.
He's proactively trying to shape the battlefield.
Yeah. Manipulate
events. To his advantage.
Yeah. It's incredible.
He's brilliant.
But this whole shadow war, it came with enormous risks.
Oh, absolutely. Life and death risks.
If these spies were caught, they could be hanged as traitors.
That was the reality.
Yeah.
They knew the consequences.
And there's always the threat of betrayal.
Oh, yeah. There were informants everywhere.
Okay.
You never knew who to trust.
Right.
Allegiances could shift. Yeah. People could be turned.
It's a very dangerous world.
It was a very dangerous world.
So knowing all of that, it's even more amazing that the Culper ring,
I know, it's incredible,
managed to operate for years without being exposed.
It really is a testament
to
their courage, their dedication, their ingenuity.
They were able to maintain secrecy.
Right under the nose of the enemy.
In enemy territory for such a long time.
It's remarkable.
It's really remarkable.
A true feat of espionage.
So I guess the big question is, did all of this spying and sabotage actually make a difference in the war?
I mean, that's the bottom line, right?
Yeah. Was it worth the risk?
Is it worth the risk?
Absolutely it was.
Okay, tell me why.
Because the intelligence gathered and the disruptions caused by these clandestine operations had a direct and significant impact on key events in the war.
Okay, give me an example.
Okay, well, the Battle of Yorktown.
Okay, the decisive battle.
1781. The Culper Ring provided Washington with crucial intel.
Like what?
On British troop movements,
Okay.
their defenses, their supply lines.
Sorry.
All of that was instrumental in allowing Washington and the French forces to plan and execute the siege that ultimately led to the British surrender.
Okay, so they provided the information that helped to trap Cornwallis.
Exactly.
At Yorktown.
And then there's the foiling of Benedict Arnold's treason.
Oh, yeah, that could have been a disaster.
Huge.
A turning point in the war.
If West Point had fallen to the British, who knows what would have happened?
The consequences could have been dire.
So the Culper Ring played a key role in exposing Arnold's plot.
And saving West Point.
And potentially saving the entire American cause.
Absolutely.
It's really remarkable.
It's incredible.
So, when we look back at Washington's approach and how he used these, there's these secret operations, it really lays the groundwork.
It does.
For the way we think about intelligence.
It's the foundation.
Yeah, and the modern intelligence agencies that we have today.
Absolutely. I mean, organizations like the OSS in World War II and the CIA,
right?
They owe a debt to Washington.
Yeah, and his understanding.
And his vision.
Yeah, of how important this type of warfare is.
Of the power of information.
Yeah.
In warfare.
And, the Culper Ring?
Yeah.
This band of ordinary citizens.
Yeah.
Farmers, merchants.
Housewives.
Everyday people.
He's stepping up and doing these incredible things.
Risking everything.
It's a real testament to the power of citizen involvement.
It is.
When the stakes are high.
Absolutely.
And it shows Washington's genius as a leader.
Yeah.
Recognizing their potential.
Their patriotism.
Yeah, their willingness to serve.
Their courage.
So the bottom line here, I think, is that George Washington's leadership during the Revolution, it went way beyond the battlefield.
Way beyond.
The secret war, this world of espionage and sabotage that he masterminded, it was absolutely essential to winning independence.
It was a crucial element of his strategy.
So I think, the big takeaway here is that...
We often think of Washington as this, stoic general.
Yeah, the marble man.
Yeah. But he was also a master spy master.
A brilliant strategist.
A puppet master.
Pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Yeah, and he understood that sometimes you have to fight in the shadows.
Sometimes the most important battles are fought in the shadows.
So win the war in the light.
Exactly.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
About all the unseen forces that might be at work.
Yeah.
Shaping our world today.
The shadow wars of our time.
Yeah. What are the things that we don't know about?
The things we can only speculate about.
That are influencing events.
The hidden hand of history.
It's a little bit unsettling. But
it is.
It's the world we live in.
It's a world of secrets.
Yeah.
And hidden agendas.
And it makes you realize that maybe we're not so different from those early Americans.
And
facing challenges and threats.
And fighting for our future.
That we don't even fully understand.
In ways we may never fully comprehend.
Yeah.
Food for thought.
Definitely food for thought.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.
See you next time.